What's up, y'all? How's my peeps doing? It's a beautiful Sunday, and I am getting ready to head to Hollywood Park for a single day, $100,000 guarantee tournament. Should be fun. The buy-in is $560. You get 50,000 chips, and the levels are 25 minutes. It started at noon, and it's about 12:30 right now, so I'm about to leave. I realized I don't really like the beginning of the tournaments when the blinds are really low, because people just call with anything and everything, and it's kind of annoying. So I'm gonna show up around 1:30 or so. You can buy in until 4:30. Also, you'll be happy to know that I went to the eye doctor this week to get my eyes checked out. And apparently I'm not a candidate for LASIK because my corneas are too thin. But they use the same laser for a process called PRK. But basically, instead of them cutting your cornea and lifting it, they dissolve it with a solution and scrape it off. But in the meantime, the doctor did recommend that I wear some glasses while I play poker. I told him about the terrible situations that I've had. I got 2 pairs of glasses that I never wear, so we can see which ones are better. I mean, they're not terrible. I feel like somebody's librarian or something. They alright. Maybe I should make them like shades. They might look cooler. Ooh, but I can see. Took those things off and was like, woo! Then there are these. They alright. No, that's why I never wear them, because I feel like they just take away from all this beautiful face. Distraction! Munchie! She's saying, Mommy gonna kill it. Give a little. Ready to roll. Okay, so I'm here. I've bought in for my 560, and I'm alternate number 78. Crazy. That means I have to wait until 78 people bust out before I can sit. I think they're at number 56 or something like that. So 22 to go. Wow. All right, here's a couple hands. I'm in the big blind with King 9 of spades. The big blind's 2,000. There's also a $2,000 big blind ante in there. The dealer makes it 8,000 to go. And the small blind and I both flat. The flop comes out ace, 10, 5 with 2 spades, one of them being the ace of spades. So I got a nut flush draw. And the small blind checks, and I just jam it. I jam it in for 75K, and the dealer tanks for a minute and folds. The small blind also folded, so it was a good little come up. Another hand, I got queen 4 of hearts in the small blind, and at this time the blinds are 5,000, 10,000, and I just called to the big blind, and the big blind checks. We go to the flop, which is thank you, which is king 4, 8 with 2 hearts. I check the flop. He makes it 20K. I snap call the 20. The turn is a deuce, and I just open jam all in. And he thinks for a minute, and he's like, "Did you turn 2 pair on me? XYZ?" And I just very stoic, don't say anything, and he folds. And he only had like 70K in his stack, so that was a nice little come up for me. Run, run, run. You guys, guess who's here? Brad Owen is here, and Andrew Newey's here.
were playing in the tournament. Brad is such an inspiration. I love his vlogs. They're so authentically him and good content, and that's why people love him. It's just being himself. It's such a validation. Like, you just got to be yourself. Come through, be who you are, and people will receive you and appreciate you. So congratulations, Brad. We did take a picture. I'm so mad right now. Mad at myself, really. I had about 210,000 in chips, and under the gun +2, wake up with pocket coins. Blinds are 6,000, 12,000, and I fucking shoved all in. The button calls with kings, and I didn't hold up, and I just can't stop beating myself up thinking like I should have just raised, right? Especially because, and there's 86 players left and 45 cash. That was so stupid. I should have just made a raise, just made it 50,000, and then he would have popped it, and I would have known like, okay, I'm up against a big pair or even ace king, and then I would have had the decision: do I want to flip for my tournament life when I'm from 400 players all the way down to 80, and I got a nice stack? And I probably would have folded. And I just can't believe that at this stage of the day, this stage in my game, that I would make such a stupid mistake. And everyone's like, oh, there's nothing you can do. It's just a cooler. You would have done the same thing, and it would have all gotten in there anyway. And I'm just like, I don't think that's true, because I've laid down queens before pre-flop. And I just feel sick to my stomach a little bit. There's 80, well, I'm out, so 85 players left. Fuck. You win some and you lose some, but you live and you learn, and hopefully you get to fight another day. And another day is upon us. I'm back. I'm back at Hollywood Park 2 days in a row. I'm actually here for Brad Owen and Andrew Nemi's meetup game. So should be fun, should be a good day. I played a lot yesterday. I didn't record it, but I ended up going to a friend's cash game after I busted from the tournament. But I made my money back from what I lost in the tournament. It was a win. Let's see how everything goes today. I'm feeling happy to be here, and I'm gonna play my game. Wow, I've never seen this many people in the top section on a Monday night. Great turnout, you guys. Now, this hand right here happened pretty early on from sitting at the table. In middle position, I limp into a pot with pocket deuces, and we go 3 ways to the flop, which is 4, 9, deuce with 2 clubs. So I got bottom set, but there is a flush draw out there. So early position player makes it $10. I actually raise to 20. The other player folds, and the early position player calls the 20. The turn is the 7 of clubs. So now there's a flush out there, and early position player bets $10. And I just call the $10. We go to the river, which is the queen of diamonds, and it goes check, check. And lucky me, that 7 of clubs saved me a lot of money because he had pocket 4, so middle set on the flop, set over set. I think that's the least amount of money I ever lost with a set. Nice hand, Joe. So I'm back, and I got friends.
What's up?
This is Brad Owen, you guys. The Brad Owen.
The Brad Owen, yeah.
This is an honor to have you here. This is your first SoCal meetup game.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going about as well as possible. We've had a huge turnout. This is the second biggest one that we've done, so we have 12 tables going, and it's been a lot of fun. I was up pretty big early, and then someone got me with aces. That was rough.
All in. What the? Oh, someone's gonna make the vlog.
Brad, it's me and you, bro.
Oh.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Whoa. Spades.
That time I stacked Brad. I didn't want to.
But so far it's pretty good. I think I'm up like 400 now, and we have maybe 2 more hours to go.
Sweet. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So I want to backtrack all the way to the beginning.
Okay.
What made you start it in the first place?
I mainly wanted to show family and friends what poker was like. There was a big disconnect, I felt like, between my parents and I. My parents live in Northern California, and they wanted me to kind of get back to my accounting background as quickly as possible. They weren't too happy with me playing poker for a living, so wanted to show them I wasn't like a degenerate gambler. And so yeah, I started doing the videos. I had no experience with editing software or anything like that, so that was a challenge to learn. But back then, I feel like no one really cared about production value of poker vlogs. I think now they do a little bit more. So that was something that was to my advantage back then, you know.
Yeah.
So it was cool. I knew how to play poker pretty well.
Yeah.
And people just liked the, you know, going through the hand histories and the tips and little things like that. I didn't really think that I would be in a situation where I would be giving advice to people playing poker. What I wanted to do was go back and forth in the comment section and talk about hands. But yeah, I kind of found myself more as like a poker coach lately, which has been interesting.
That is an interesting transition.
Yeah.
How big did you build your bankroll before you went full-time poker?
So I played poker for a living initially in 2012, and I only had like, I think 8 to 10,000 liquid, and then I had another 10,000 in stocks. So I quit my job as a leasing consultant in San Francisco. I was leasing apartments, and I moved out to Las Vegas, and I moved into Check Raise Charles's house. And so
Wow.
him and I, we've been friends for a long time, since before either of us started vlogging. You know, and that was
Wow.
yeah. So that was 2012, and I was playing 3-5. I was probably like a break-even 3-5 player at that point.
Okay.
And I mainly played at the Red Rock, and luckily, like, I studied a lot. The fact that I wasn't working another full-time job made it so I could just study poker, and that went well. So I was kind of making like between like $3,000 and $4,000 a month, maybe playing between like 100 and 115 hours a month, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And my expenses were minimal, so I was able to save a lot of money living in Las Vegas. It was a lot less expensive to live there than anywhere, you know, in California that I've lived previously.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any friends. This was Charles's rental home, basically. So he had a room there, but he was in San Francisco, you know, 90% of the time, basically. So I was living in that house by myself, and I just didn't really enjoy it that much. I felt pretty
Really?
lonely. I had a girlfriend that was living in Newport Beach at the time.
Oh.
So then
Cali girls.
Yeah. So then I moved to LA, and I just got smoked. I probably had like 40K to my name at that point. So I built up the bankroll a little bit. But the structures out here are difficult to play, like $5 big blind games, especially back then. They were like 200 cap games, so that was real weird at
That is
Commerce
weird.
and stuff.
Oh.
And so I was playing 510, which had a structure that was like $400 to $1,500 buy-in, and I felt a lot more comfortable having that many big blinds.
Right.
But I didn't have enough money to be playing in those games, and my expenses were a lot more living in LA. You know, my rent went from $600 a month in Las Vegas to being like $1,200 or $1,300 a month
Easily.
in LA. I was living in a 2-bedroom with my brother in LA. So yeah.
Huh. And now
So-
you're full-time Vegas.
Yeah. I got smoked in LA. My
Shit.
first stint. Yeah. So I went broke real quick, just making all the rookie mistakes. Ran bad, played bad, had too high of expenses. Had to move back in with my parents at 24, I think.
And were they
Not
like,
fun.
oh, I told you so, you should
Pretty
give
much,
that
yeah.
thing up?
Yeah. My
Yeah.
mom needled me real hard. She said, "So are you glad you played poker for a living? Are you glad you gave that a shot?" As if to say, like, I told you
Like,
so.
I
Like,
told
this
ya.
was a dumb idea and you did it anyway. You should listen to me next time.
I hope you learned your lesson.
And I told her, it's too early to tell. Like, I don't know how this is going to affect my life. Even though I basically went broke, it might affect my life like in a really positive way down the line. And I ended up being pretty much at the lowest point of my life, living with my parents, and studied for the CPA exams. I passed those, and then got my master's in accounting at UNLV after.
Sweet.
And the master's program just pretty much prepares you to study for the CPA exams. So it was all review for me. So I was playing poker a lot on the side. Then I worked for an accounting firm for a year, and that was just super depressing. I just didn't enjoy it. So I went back to poker in 2015, and my parents absolutely hated it then too.
I'm sure.
And then, a year after that, I started doing the poker blog.
Wow. And
So it's a long answer, I think.
I appreciate the long answer, and I learned a lot in that conversation, and you've learned a lot through this journey.
Sure.
From where you are now, from where you were then, do you feel like your parents now accept it? I mean,
yeah.
You just won People's Choice,
Yeah.
Global Poker Awards. You just hit 100,000 subscribers. That's a big deal.
Just right away, they thought it was great. There was so much clarity through the videos of like what my life was about. Like they understood that it's a game of strategy. Once I started doing like hand analysis and all that stuff.
I love your hand analysis.
Thanks. Yeah. So that was something that was really eye-opening for them, and they're so excited that people come out to these meetup games and people are subscribing to the channel and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, you are inspiring so many people,
Cool.
myself included.
Thank you.
I appreciate you sitting down for
Yeah.
this. This is a blessing for me as a new vlogger.
I feel like your channel's gonna blow up.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah. Let's
Give
go.
me that! From your lips to God's ears. God
All right.
bless you, and thank you.
Yeah.
P's and
We're
Q's
back.
today with Brad Owen.
To be honest, I try not to, I don't get too annoyed by people with their poker etiquette. One thing that I can't help but be annoyed about is when people hit and run.
Ooh,
But I feel like it's their money, so they should be able to do whatever they want. Like why should people be forced to stay? After they win a big pot. Generally, when people do hit and run, the money means a lot to them, right? So.
Yeah.
I feel like that for that reason they should be allowed to, but especially when they beat me and they leave right away, it hurts, and I want to get that money back because I'm just a competitive person. So that's something that frustrates me the most.
thank you for sharing that.
Yep.
So for this cash game, I bought in at $400 and cashed out at $588. It's a small win, but I'll take it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram at P's and Q's Poker. I'd love to hear from you. See you next time.